Hello, everybody. My extended YouTube family. My YouTubian bros and broettes. Whatever. That's cool. My Rogue Nation people. That's what it is in my mind. I have the nation, or the nation of people who are, like me and stuff, and who are watching my channel and my peoples and stuff in my tribe. And, all the like really super smart, sharp, juggernauts of the world, both men and women is the type. So I have in my mind, as this is published to the world, the public thing, even though I get like 3 views, 2 views, nothing, whatever, no subscribers. But you see, that to me has no effect. That's like having want to win the trophies back as a white belt, going on a black belt, or in a white belt tournament, anything, competing. And there's so many people who are so awed with the prestige of being number one and being placed and have the trophy, and they get off on all that. And that's the false mode. Even you get it. It's just, I just, no. But your experience of the tournament and all that, yes, same thing with everything. You just do it for real and true and detach from outcome and don't give a fuck and do everything as best as you can, as fullest and honest as you can and true. Leave nothing unturned that you yourself could possibly do, and then you let go. You can easily let go at that point because there's nothing else you can do, and it's in the hands of God or in Mother Nature, and all that. And that's probably a very shitty way of explaining it because I'm not calibrated correctly for some reason. I don't know what I'm having extreme highs and lows today. I don't know what it is because, like I said, it's definitely the gym. Not going to the gym this week sucked, but I'm combating that, and brings me to some real world information for you. I'm putting together now a workout, probably like on the Road Combative channel, physical, like 10 to 15 minute workout. It's basic stretching, warming up, physical exercises, calisthenics, body weights, you don't need any equipment, nothing. It kind of like just my version of my martial art warm up before I would do classes, stuff like that. So I'm gonna keep them, but still it'd be a little combative. You get a little combative stuff out of it, but I'm putting together that curriculum. And at first I was gonna just go wing it. No, tomorrow I'm gonna focus on it and put it together and get it up for Monday, hopefully. There's no reason why I shouldn't, but I have to I stop with these deadlines I make a lot of fucking unnecessary stress for myself. I still see, even though, I don't take orders from anybody, anything, and I make everything, which is great, but it's also very extremely hard too, a lot of times, because a lot of times you just don't know what the fuck is the right way to go. And you could either guess, which is not the way to really do it for me, like to work on assumption, anything in life, or do your homework and really try and figure out which is the right way to go. And sometimes, or it's been in my case, depending on whatever the adversity or the scenario thing is, like I've had to stop and stay in one place for like maybe sometime years before I knew which way to go on with the trail, and obviously a lot of wrong ones, and then you got to come back. But it's not having anyone to answer to is great, but like the fucked up part that it can be is also then dealing with running yourself, bossing of yourself, and all that, and that's all great and good. But it's a price that you have to pay for that to get it the right way, because that part of you that always fucks you up has free reign in there to fuck you up. Don't do it at 8:30. You can do it at 9. Do this right now for a few more minutes. It keeps pushing you off, So that's the real big battle I'm having. Last battle I'm trying to iron out. And then I'll be good for the 2020 season, coronavirus or no coronavirus, because I can use this YouTube and the Road Combative channel to not only, as a vessel for me to get activity out and stuff out, but I can put the training out there for people who want to do it, who want to put a little effort and follow along with me, and I'll can keep going, adapting, overcoming, adapt, improvise, overcome. But what's interesting and very, concerning to me that I'm watching out for now as all of this happens, because most people, don't know how to have never faced any kind of adversity in life really yet, and there's a lot of, kids, younger, innocent, whatever. But there's a lot of people who have skated through life very easily and got all these, and have no idea, have always been able to buy their way out of every fucking problem, or know someone who would make a phone call and handle their problem here or there, or some people who just lucky life, everything great all the time, and this is the first time they're ever being met with reality, and it's kind of good in a way, people's mind perspective into what really matters, think about it, if, okay, you could be a big bad Mr. $800,000 $1 million making, $1 billion a day guy or whatever, to have all the money, riches in the world. This kind of shit happens. Now you can't go out of your house. You're completely quarantined. It's going to be for a year, and something happens and all the electric goes or something, and there's no more computers or internet or something, and fuck, you're lucky if there's heat or something. Do you know how many people would lose it and they don't have to? How are you supposed to exist without a TV, without all this stuff? Well, you can, and people did years before, and you can now. So I'm not saying, do it for the sake of doing it. I'm saying some people just live this kind of in this really sheltered, pampered, false reality their whole life. And now that this is their first time they've ever woken up to it, or the other people who other people have allowed them to live that kind of thing, or whatever. But what I'm trying to say is that what I'm watching for is people knowing this is happening right now. And this is the first time a lot of people are getting a taste of they're not in control of anything at all of their life or anything. And it's how it's always been, every day, you don't know, people are so, those people are the ones that I'm watching because they freak out and panic. They would are the ones that can cause trouble or whatever and snap and not handle it and cause everything to get real bad for other people. So it's interesting to watch all the celebrities now. Right, what's going to happen with that? Let's think about that for a second. So, a lot of them who have relied, on all this other stuff, or these type of prima donna celebrities where like, you know, I have 18 million viewers and all this shit and subscribers, and they're so, you know, this is their work for the day. They got to do video. They get this big, beautiful studio, whatever. They come, you know. Okay, shoot, and that's. Okay, and that's it. And then, okay, all right, there's another $80,000. And what kind of a fucking reality is that person going to have to real life, you know? So anyway, so all of these celebrities in the entertainment world, now it's going to be interesting to see which ones are the real ones and which ones were really the bullshit and fake or weak or whatever. Because now they're going to have to rely on themselves only, and their own gumption and their own. They have to motivate themselves to stay in the public eye, to put videos out, you know, to stay where they are if they want to keep that going. And that's kind of what I like about all this, because it's going to force people, you know, to like do for themselves, or it's going to show the ones who can't and could never do for themselves. This is going to put the spotlight on them now, because their facade of life they have is they can't stop from being revealed now, you know, and they'll go away, you know, just because they don't have what it takes. Maybe they never did have it in the beginning, you know, and the ones that did and are true or real will still be there and still do what they have to do. So that's, you know, kind of what I'm like, you know, watching and around with all this stuff and taking my little mental notes about. And I'm just so pissed. I still am not using my thing. I had set up over there. I'm afraid to move the fucking laptop, so I'm not going to do it. I set up all my journals. On my other table there in the other room from 93 to 2019. And I have them stacked in different years and sections. I had it all out. I was going to show it in the video tonight and all that, but nothing fucking. These don't always work out the way you want. You know? I'm not going to fuck with it because I have it set up good for tomorrow, and that's what I'll do. Fuck, I wanted to show all that tonight. Show it tomorrow. You know, so even though I'm a solitary person and stuff, I still have my challenges, of course, myself, always, you know, and to be a real motherfucker sometimes, you know, and I'm trying not to be. I'm finishing up a painting for my one daughter. I'm making a painting for my other daughter. I'm mail it to them. My announcement is I found this journal going through it, and it's the first time I ever reread any of it. And this is from one of the best. It's like right in the middle to the end of like my first best period in life, highest everything I was working for 10 years and achieved and got going and everything. And then it was part of the downfall of it too. Because it's from 2002 all the way to 2005. Yeah, 2002 to 2005 all in here. This is from the middle of the high part of me with the second school and all that. And then the ups and downs and the other school I was teaching all that. And then when the school closed, the landlord died and all this crap, and then the family, and then the divorce wasn't until 2010. But this was like I was reading, and things I'm psyched about is I could read. The writing's not that impossible to read, so I can decipher it pretty good. But what I have to do to make it into, you know, like a little demo book, like working on that other book, the big one, Seasons in Hell, with parts of, I've said this shit 1,000 times, parts of all the journals, all the writing. I'm pissing myself off right now. Yeah. Oh, yes, that's what I want to show. All right. Falling apart here, boys. Come on, boys. My biggest thing, other than sleep, the problem I have with myself is shutting off, not being able to cool out easy or enough. Like just sitting around all day and relaxing and stuff is really fucking hard for me. It's a lot of fucking work for me to do that. Unless it's really nice and sunny out, I can go out and be in the sun, and then I could, like a lizard or something, I could just sit out there and no sunscreen, nothing, for like 10 hours, and it just like radiates, feels good, energy. But you should be able to. I saw a great quote last night. I heard on YouTube. It was about something about the power of the man who can stop and sit by himself for at least a full hour and need nothing and can be fine, entertain himself and not deteriorate. And there's things. Believe it or not, if you had no computers and all that, there's no power, and things like good old fashioned books, like nothing I've written, like real books and stuff to read, or drawing, writing, writing, everyone can write. Problem is people think like automatically everything, like they compare it with like, oh, I'm not going to be Stephen King. I can't. That's the wrong way of thinking. You do it, and you do it real, and that's what matters. You let the world, let everything else judge the thing. But when you're ever trying to compare and all that, you're fucking yourself up. And then if you try to alter, make things how you think people might like them more or whatever, you're just getting into a world of shit you're going to eventually can never get out of, I say. Just be real in a way that will always kind of protect you. Here we're back. All right, 0302 hours. I have got to get hard on myself here. One of my biggest problem is stopping and going to sleep and getting this thing. Let me just tell you how fucking. Okay, this past week, and I know it's because of adjusting to not going to the gym and all that, and do other stuff, and I'll get, like I said, I'm going to take care of that problem. It just takes a week or so to transition and go jogging and everything. But last night I was up until like I think 7:30 in the morning. I went to bed Saturday morning. I was up until 7:30. Slept till I don't know. I think 11:30 or 12. And the night before, I stayed up until almost 8 in the morning. And the rest of the week, every single night, I think the earliest I was in bed was 5 o'clock, between 4 and 6. And then I get, if I'm lucky, I get my minimum 3 to 5 hours of sleep. And I would like to get a little more, but that's what is my minimum I need. And then I just fall into these bizarre routine and ruts. I've been in them before many times, doing the schools and the different odd hours with the world, and, me putting the school, the thing, the path, the journey, all of that ahead of everything, ahead of myself, ahead of everyone, ahead of my well-being, ahead of my financial, ahead of my safety, ahead of everything. I don't know why this occurs to me, how to do this, go about things with that, but it did, and it's like part of it. I couldn't stop it if I wanted to. But all the fathers and mothers in the world out there, you know, you have to remember too, if you're scared now or whatever and you have kids, you have to be strong for them, you know? I mean, to me, I still 9/11 fucking felt way worse to me. Uh, there's something about the nature of that. I remember, like, and after it really kind of fucked me up for a while. And I, you know, I lived pretty close to the city, about 5 miles. You could always see the Twin Towers. Just standing out, walking my dog front. I'd go to the corner, you'd see the Twin Towers, no problem. You know, so the New York skyline is great. I've lived here my whole life. Half an hour it takes to drive in the city, no traffic. And I was awake, and my mom had called me. I was feeding my daughter, you know, 1-year-old daughter, you know, opening school at night. My wife was at work and living the perfect what I wanted in life. And like, you know, as you say, I'm not plugged in. I don't plug into the world really. It's just my world, my self-invented world. And my mom called me and said, "What's going on?" You know, the towers are put on TV, and I put it. And this was in time when before the second plane hit. So everything with the Pentagon, all that stuff happened. I turned it on and I watched. And I watched the second one in real time hit the thing, and I remember like wow, I just felt like all those like thousands of people die that instant as it went in. It was just so hard. Thought of all the kids who became instant orphans and every in that 1 second and all that, and it just hit me. I'm feeding my 1-year-old daughter breakfast in this fucking world, and this shit's going on, and then when they went down, I still watched that in live time too, and then I just like wow, oh, there's so many people just died right now in front of me, you know, you can't see, but they just, you know, thousands and thousands, and then the whole. That was just horrible, man. And so, how I'm saying how it made my already was a severely PTSD victim person from childhood. So that didn't 9/11 and all that, and being a new father and all that, and just having school and now having my first real family I ever had in my life, first real family unit, and it was great. You know, I loved my wife. She kind of still loved me at that time, I think. And had a daughter, beautiful daughter. Living my dream, what I wanted to do. I had my own school. I became a black belt. I was making good money. I was my own boss. I wasn't taking orders. Trying to mold into this family life that I couldn't. It's hard for me because I never was in a normal thing. So now I'm in a situation where, okay, I have something to lose. You know, my family, this life, you know, war, or they're attacking, you know, like, because I guess I've grown so used to, in a sense, not giving a fuck about me at all. Or it's not true to say it that way, but it's like the easiest way to kind of explain. I've been used to kind of going through life with just me and just dealing, you know, and with things and stuff in my way, my world, and not caring, and you know, and who else is going to care and look out for me, you know, if I don't. So I have that right. I believe that's what liberty means, right? Your soul's right to breathe. Everyone. So I started becoming so paranoid. It's not so much for myself, the fear of myself, but the fear of something happening to me and then leaving my wife and daughter alone in the world if I got blown up, because I'm naturally super paranoid, 21st schizoid man as it was before 9/11. And then so mine's all over the fucking place. So, well, I remember what happened for a little while, and I even saw a psychiatrist about it. I was every time I would go into a supermarket or any kind of big store. Oh, also at the time there was someone sniping in the Washington D.C. area, and they were sniping people. They couldn't find it, like at gas stations, uh, schools, hospitals. Like they would shoot. They were shooting. They shot kids, old people, just random people. And it turned out the DC snipers. There was two motherfuckers, and they were in that area, and they parked in some like remote, different part in the woods every night, and they had hollowed out like the back seat, so they would fold the back seat down of the car in the trunk, and then they would lay down. They had a little hole where the rifle would go out, and they would just kill random people, motherfucker. But that put everyone in the area in a huge fucking panic because they couldn't catch them. They didn't know, and these people was all random. People were just pumping gas. Boom, get shot from a mile away, killed. Kids walking to school get shot in the stomach, like, and all that was going on too. Like so. It's not like with this virus threat, but it was a different kind of a violent threat, like the end of the 90s, all that. So I became so paranoid and defensive, and which turns to offensive and aggressive and to protect and stuff. So I would think that, the supermarket was going to blow up, or the terrorists were going to blow it up, or anywhere where there was just a lot of people, or sometimes not even, because how crazy my mind would get. So I would start getting real freaked inside, like if I'm online, they're taking way too long, and they're being not fucking super Mr. Efficient like me, and they're not thinking when I'm thinking. I start to like panic, like the place was going to blow up or explode any second. Now I would get this impending feeling of I was going to explode and die and leave my wife and daughter alone in the world. And I would get really like, depending on the mood of the day or whatever, how I would get with people anyone who were in front of me, or stopping, or slowing, whatever the things I would say or do. It was just fucked up, and luckily nothing bad ever happened. Then I got to the point where I started taking it in my mind to them. So I had one of my students went to Florida for something. I said, bring me back some M80s and all that shit, bunch of them. And he did. And so right at them. So then I was, reading my books, my steel books, World War, all that. I got all these great ideas and learning and ninja shit. So I started making my own little bombs. I taped like like 4 M80s together, and I would tape like a bunch of nails around them and shit. And like, I had all these like little, very probably extremely deadly, devastating bombs. I never used them or whatever. They were just, in my house in case. With my other weapons of self-defense and stuff. But so I was like, okay, I had ideas back then, so I'd still keep these late hours. Not as bad, because my wife would kind of rein me in a little bit and make me come into bed and come get me and kind of keep a little normal hours, not like how I am now, where I easily, just stay up until exhaustion bludgeons me, and I got to get better with all of it. 7, 8, it doesn't matter. Okay, so, yeah, I would go to areas where there was a high just fucking, what's the word for the, like high areas, people where there's a lot of like a mix of cultures. Shit, like bus stops, like big, any like area where it's constantly a lot of traffic. I would put up like pro USA stuff, nothing bad, like, get it, just pro USA. And everyone else was putting flags everywhere, all sorts of stuff. It was no different than what anyone else was doing. But I would make it a little more provocative and a little more aiding in my mind, like aiming specifically towards that terrorist cell that was in my mind definitely operating around here waiting to strike. You know, and I would make it insulting enough or threatening enough where they would, at the minimum, I thought, would rip it down or cross it out or do something. And I would put these up in a few different places, and I would monitor them, go back like every couple of days and check. And if one of the things was crossed out or fucked up or something like that, now I have a perpetrator possibly, and then I get a focal point to go concentrate in that area more. It's fucking psycho, right? Luckily, nothing ever really happened, and after a little while, I have kind of came back down to normal a little bit or something. I don't know, but I have the old journal for that too. That 2000. That's this journal, the one I did make and sell for $15 a copy, and I'm gonna doing more of them. All right, so what I'm gonna do and end this here is I want to I butchered this whole show thing tonight, but at least I did it, followed through, and I did the music one before. But most importantly, I removed that fucking big mental block of extra depressed state, extra confusion, extra anxiety, overthinking, pressure thing in my head, lonely, all that stuff attacking. And without the use of any chemicals or drugs or anything, with the use of music and dancing, I was able to remove it, fucking kick it on its way, make it unwelcome, and go and do another video, this whole Jason show one, and get it uploaded correctly. It was a big win for me. But I'm starting to ditch out now, and I don't like doing that in front of people. You know, I am worried. The one thing that fucking sucks is, no open mics. But so what I can do until it starts and I can go into them again, instead of whining and complaining about it, I can use that extra time to be preparing my shit for a good open mic set. And I could do it, set it up, actually, YouTube videos. But so I always like to, the thing with my journals is I like to pick the day of whatever day it is right now, and then whatever journal I pick up and look at back to that day, or as close to that day as possible of that year, and read it. That's my little fun thing. All right, so let's do that with two. All right, this is 2001. And this is where this left off, 2002 to 2005. So we'll do, fuck it, let's do 9/11. Here's the fucked up thing about 9/11 is that I have it in here too. I'll never forget it because it happened. I had dreams a couple days before 9/11, about something happening in New York. I couldn't get out. It was catastrophe everywhere, like all this shit. It was a horrible feeling, and I wrote about it in the journal. And the day before, I wrote something. Here, let's see if I'll find it. 9/12. Okay, so I obviously didn't write a journal on 9/11 the day of it because everything that was going on. I'll read. I'm not going to look for my premonition dream, but it was somewhere. All right, I'm going to read the entry, the very last entry before 9/11, and then the one on 9/12. And then I'll go to March 27th every time. All right. See, I brought my good chair down here. A really nice fucking $250 chair. I brought it from my room, put it down here, so I'm down here more. And I can't sit and do it like this. I have to stand up. That's the hyperness. My fucking legs hurt, man. 9/5/01, 1:53 a.m. Ran around like a maniac today. Still not back in groove from vacation. Tonight was my first class back teaching the kids karate class. Towards the end, I had someone open the door because it was very hot and the school was packed with kids as well as parents. I was talking to them at the end of class, like I always do, and some asshole in a car parked at the light in front of the school yells in, "Hee-ah!" Typical of the chipping, wait, just let me pause there on that. There's history there. That's something that, well, back in my day, the day before the way things are now, there's no more different schools. It's just MMA schools. This is what it's evolved to. But, it was common if, your school was on a main ave with a lot of people and stuff going by, you would get the wise asses and the people who would fuck with you or something. And it always irked me from white belt on. And as I got more skilled and confident, all that, I started, doing something back to the people for doing it. I didn't let people get away with that shit. If I could do something, or, so like, that just tells me, super chicken shit coward, because you can't do it face to face or come in and be insulting, or whatever. Has to do it in the safety of a car as they're driving by at 20 miles an hour and you'll never catch them and stuff like that. And I remember too, I left, depending again on the mood or whatever, like something like that random can happen. I'm teaching, whatever, and it can hit a nerve or something, and something just goes, and I'm not making any words, just like and I'm reacting like as if controlled by another signal or something. It's like, and I just fucking, nothing can stop me. You can't. I just go. And I remember the time I said something like, "This is the wrong day," and everything. And they got the red light, and they were in front of the school, and they stopped after they had said it. They had to stop, and I went out there, and I went out and I grabbed the guy by his hair and tried to pull him out a little bit out of his car. I don't know what I was doing. I went, I'm like, "Fuck you," and again, and then I turned. I see a lot, and actually very much like that picture, and I see all the faces of the people. Luckily, it wasn't a kid class; they were older. So, okay, so here's all right. So, and chicken shit in front of the school yells in "Hee-ah!" Typical of the chicken shit bitch ass punks that yell and run away or make prank calls and harass you from a safe distance. Yeah. My first impulse was to swarm him and rip him out of his bitch car by his peroxide highlighted woman hair and pound him into the worthless pile of dog shit that he no doubt is. But I had to set an example in front of my students and their parents. So I just glared at him and motioned with my hand for him to come inside. I didn't even break the sentence and idea I was talking about in the school. Of course, the bitch didn't come in. I tried not to let it piss me off too bad, but over the last 10 years, being in these glass front main road martial arts schools, this is something I am very used to, but I seem to get more furious with each incident than cooling out with each one. I remember in winter of 1992, kicking a drunk drug addict guy so hard in his ribs that he flew back into the wall and turned red then purple and could not breathe for a few seconds. He came in all obnoxious and tough, talking shit, saying how the stuff didn't work, and my teacher was there. And I have a page missing. Yep, that's only half the entry. That fucking burns me. I have a copy. I got it. All right, so the day after, all right, 9/12/01. That was a few days before the world changed, 9/11. 9/12/01, 1:46 p.m. A day after America has been attacked. I watched thousands of people die on live TV about 10 miles away from my front door yesterday in my kitchen while I was feeding my daughter. I watched one plane hit the World Trade Center minutes after one hit the other tower. Also, a plane was flown into the Pentagon and one went down in Pennsylvania that was said to be heading to the White House. I can't believe I am even writing this, never mind the shock and horror of watching both of the Twin Towers collapse live while I stood there in my kitchen. But at the same time, I can easily believe it. The planes were all hijacked in mid-air, taken over, and were used as weapons, kamikaze style, but on civilian targets and on American soil. I then found out minutes later from my mom that my brother, who delivers things to the city daily for a trucking company, had to make a delivery to the World Trade Center today. I really thought he was dead for about 6 hours until we heard from him. Fuck, I can't believe thousands of innocent people are dead. I am horrified, depressed, and filled with murderous rage at the terrorist organizations behind this. The sorrow I feel is indescribable. I keep thinking of all the families who will be destroyed as a result of this. Turned out, thank God, my brother had made his delivery to World Trade Center about 30 minutes before the first plane hit. He saw the second one hit on foot, and also saw people. He saw people jumping from the windows on the towers to the street below. The enormity of this is overwhelming. I am trying to force myself to return to some degree of normalcy, but it feels impossible right now. The paranoia I feel for my family and myself is staggering. I was already paranoid enough before this. Okay, next one. 9:13:01, I'm curious. 9:13:01, 2:03 a.m. Paranoia, rage, and fear coursing through me at an unbelievable level. I went to the supermarket to get Pampers, milk, eggs, and cheese, and all I kept thinking was the place was going to blow up any minute. I did not really fear all that much for myself, but the true horror of leaving my daughter and wife and the rest of the family alone in this vicious world was eating me up. It was hard to get out of there. Every second felt like an hour. I was getting very hostile and paranoid and scared all at once. Life has changed. Public places are now targets for terrorists. I must maintain for my daughter. I have no choice. At the same time, I have a bloodlust and want to kill any and as many of the enemy as possible as I sit glued to the TV. 9:18. Struggling to get back to a normal state of mind. I don't think I will ever get back to the mindset I had before 9/11/01. But my family and myself are still alive, so I am lucky. But I am more paranoid now than ever, and I think I have become more aware and will stockpile my own home weapon defense. I lifted weights today and listened to a little music for the first time in 7 days. That's just unheard. Teaching karate to the kids today was good as always. As usual, during that hour, I did not think of all the horror and rage this world makes me think of. Death to the terrorists is what I want. I want a safe world for my daughter. It's just too hard to overlook the fact that 5,000 people were murdered less than 10 miles from me. Less than 10 miles away. Remember seeing the animal. Whoa, that's annoying. I wanted to finish that reading. But this copy is so fucked up. Not only are there pages missing, but the one is in backwards. So when I turn the page, there's another fucking entry. Okay, this is the kind of shit. Like, I'm not gonna leave this untied. I'm not gonna end the fucking video and not finish that fucking. I do. See, I have backup organization things. Sorry, this one, I know this one is full and correct, but this has no cover or nothing. 9:13? Okay. Okay, death to the terrorists is what I want. I want a safe world for my daughter. It's just too hard to overlook the fact that 5,000 people were murdered less than 10 miles away from my house, and more importantly, from my family. Damn those chicken shit bastards in their sandals and dresses. This is extremely troubling to me. I am paranoid in a different way. I fear for my family and have bloodlust to kill the enemy. At times, it puts me in a trance of rage and planning, calculating. Damn it. Like I wasn't violent and paranoid enough before this. And then it goes on, 9:20, it was just all about how the war, everything happened and played out. And just, fucked up place, you know. And that's why you have to be not only just smart and aware and all that, and have money and all that stuff, but you have to be able to be dangerous and be able to protect yourself and be able to project that to bad ones who would want to harm you or take advantage of you or do anything. And you know, you have to cultivate that deadly dangerousness, exude it on cue, and it has to be real. Let people know you will kill them without a blink of an eye thought over something. You know, if they fuck do the wrong thing or whatever, you know, like that's not a bad thing. You know, that's a good thing. You know, if you know used for good and to protect. You know, and that's why I love the Bowie knife so much, and the art of that. And I'm just going to be bringing it back and showing people it's a most functional, effective art that, and not only men, women can learn and can really, 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 really real life defend themselves in the street and in the anywhere in the woods, wherever, against man or beast. They know how to use a Bowie knife. You know, they're going to be protected. You know, and you could be never in shape your whole life and be 60 years old and start slowly and learning it and get good with it. Or you can start, you know, 20 or 30, 40, 50, any age, and you can continue doing it as not only as a workout, but and you can continually get it. You can get more deadlier and deadlier and deadlier, and as age and time goes on, rather than the norm, deteriorate and become more of a prey, more, you know, not able to defend yourself or have to depend on security or, you know, cops or anyone or anything but yourself. And you know, it doesn't take a terrible long time to really get pretty good with the Bowie. And so you don't have to invest 5-10 years into a martial art to get proficient or something, or fight in the UFC. You can, you know, any a huge Bowie, regular Bowie, any, you know, learning how to use the Bowie, you know, you can translate a lot of it to smaller blades, but and learning that, and it's something that, because you can't, you get too old, you can't think it, you can't kick and you can't punch, you can't do all these things, and people, they accept that and they just live that, and then sure enough, you let enough time of your body doing nothing but just sitting and eating and sexing and watching TV and working, and you know, no fuck, of course, can you blame it for deteriorating and wanting to die? So you work it. And what I'm saying is you can protect yourself, more proficiency and security 1,000 times within a couple months of training than someone could a lifetime of martial arts or anything. I'm not saying martial arts about. I'm saying people who don't have the time or for whatever, or injuries, you can't do a regular full body martial art, but they can learn Bowie. They can learn the knife, you know, and you learn knife, so you can't be touched really other than with a gun. And then at that point, you can't control that anyway. So at least you die on your terms, and you still maintain that perimeter. And if anyone comes in, you don't want them to, they die. And they know it. And this is nothing bad, or this is the way of the world. This is the way of life. Animals, you know, see how they are and stuff. And it's just, everyone has a right to defend yourself, you know, I believe. And that's what, you know, attitude is almost everything. You know what? I'm not going to read another entry. Just getting tired. It's late. I got to pull it. Like I said, oh, it's 3:30 now. And my normal habit is when I stop the video, I still don't sit down right. I stand there for however long it takes, sometimes fucking 20 minutes to do the thing and upload it to YouTube correctly. That's what I'm gonna have to do because the other night I tried the shit where I postponed it. It was supposed to air like premiere at 9 a.m. I did it like 3 in the morning, and I woke up and looked at it to see how it was up. And I woke up to see video failed. I fucked up something with it, so and I got to get that shit right before I can do the live thing yet. So I got the mouth. I got to get my time better, and I've got to make myself go to fucking sleep earlier when I don't have to. But part of me is like, I feel like I'm always feeling like under this kind of like, if I don't do everything, like there's a war on, and it's like there is, but there isn't, and I'm still having trouble with this riddle of fucking just cooling out, man, and just sitting down. Because when I do it, like, I don't ever, and sometimes I really enjoy watching like Ancient Aliens and shit. I like a lot of anything about aliens and all of that, supernatural on camera. I like that stuff. When I actually sit down, or It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, it takes the piss out of me. When I just go through the small motions of setting it up and turning it on and sitting down and giving it my attention, maybe suffering through a commercial or two, I like it. I laugh. I have fun. It's good for me. I just have trouble with that, allowing myself to take it easy like that. And this is the one pitfall for me always of when I'm single and not with women or anything. I just fuck it. It is what it is, and I'm working on it. And I gotta just start giving myself a break with a lot of shit. Like becoming, too hard on myself is counterproductive. I do what has to be done. But I gotta learn to fucking back off because I'm just making things harder in the future on myself. Lots going to change. Okay, I'm blanking out too much. I'm artistically, that's bullshit on my part. That's artistically lazy. That falls right in there with working out material or new ideas, or not just winging it on the audience's time or people's time. I think that's fucked. I think that's, like I said, artistically lazy, mentally lazy, and a lot of people can easily get away with it because people don't even realize it's happening or whatever. But it to me, it's no different in teaching. And going back to the first day I instructed the white belt class as a yellow belt, it just really had my teacher told me, I have them do this, and this, and you know how to do it. So, and I just took that so seriously, and I mean to do it right and true to each person, and make it, not about me, about them, and teaching it and making it about the art. Really, it was the art. I was able to see something, have something for the first time too in life that I could fully love and put my trust in and invest myself into, and I knew was going to help and benefit me. Was the art, martial arts, and the particular art I stumbled into, and it has done that for me throughout my life tenfold, and continues to. So And this now, quick announcements. I'm going to be doing a lot more work on my Road Combatives channel now that the weather's getting better, and like I said, the season starts. So check that out sometime, if you want. And I'm going to be putting together this week that phase one. It's same material I teach to real people in real life when that used to happen. Phase one stuff, and it's good for beginners and it's good for advanced guys and fighters and stuff. It's basic things and drills that hone specific combative reflexes and body movements and things, and it taught in a logic chain that makes sense for smart learning things, so you don't kind of fuck your. It's good, all right, and it'll be a way to fight back at the virus, by generating some positivity with your body and your thing. That's the beautiful thing about martial arts and true arts, what I love, because this is what they're about, especially my art, ninjutsu. It's all about enduring, persevering. It's a 2,000-year-old art. For 1,000 years it was. I'm not even going to get into talking about it because it's so much, and no one would know what I'm talking about anyway. So, but that's what it's about. It's about surviving, adapting, enduring, and no matter what. And knowing yourself. So martial arts, done right and correctly, you can grow, you can get better, stronger, more confident, more healthier, make better everything. And it all is generated from within. You have to have a teacher and someone to show you the way in the beginning and everything, but a lot of the stuff I show too is drills and things that, okay, I show you a couple minutes, okay, you know how to do it. You don't ever need me to show it to you again. It's up to you if you want to do it for 5 minutes a day, every other day, or never again, whatever. But that's on the people. So that's coming, and this week will be, and then I'm gonna. All sorts of things I'm playing on it, but this I keep worrying because I don't speak right. I hate. I don't know why I can't talk. I have to go to a speech doctor or something. People don't know. That's the name of the channel, Rogue Combatives. And this is this one, 57 minutes, Saturday night. Thank you for your time. If you have watched it this far. And even if you haven't, you can keep watching it. You can watch it again and again and again. All right. Absolutely.